It's 2-1. And so I think Atalanta will also score at home. I think it just comes down to the opposition. The home teams of the Italian home teams need to keep a clean sheet. That is the only way they qualify. If they concede, it makes it more complicated for them. I just think that Milan will win because of the home factor. Because the statistic is that, look, in the last, be it in the last 12 matches, winning 7, drawing 5 at home. They've not lost at home at the San Siro since October.
In Italian Super Cup, beating Juventus, beating Inter Milan, all coming from behind to win it. Yes, a good omen for Fabio Conceição. But against a depleted Feyenoord side, who obviously have a lot of their first 11 players injured, Quentin Timber, Zerouki, Hartmann, Trona, almost all of them lost Santiago Jimenez to the same Milan team. And then you travel all the way to Netherlands to give out this poor performance.
Welcome to the Gajo podcast again. Today we are reviewing Tuesday's UEFA Champions League fixtures. Crunch fixtures coming up. Milan are in action. They are playing against Feyenoord. And you know the first leg didn't exactly happen the way you wanted. Of course, Atalanta will be taking on Club Brugge. Now, Club Brugge have done the unthinkable. They beat Atalanta at home. And Atalanta will definitely be wanting to come back in this particular game. There's a game between Benfica and Monaco. Remember, Monaco were beaten by Benfica in their home grounds. Of course, that is an intriguing fixture that you need to look at. And then there's that game between Bayern Munich and Celtic. Bayern Munich in the first leg defeated Celtic by 2-1. My guys are here. Today we'll be discussing the UEFA Champions League into details. Prosper Kuzo and Francis Ajay. Francis, Prosper, what's up?
We did, Charlie.
We did fine.
Move him.
NHE. Now, Milan in the first leg of the UEFA Champions League didn't get it the way they wanted in that particular one. Milan lost to Feyenoord away from home by 1-0. Would Milan make it to the, the next round of the competition?
The thing is that, look, statistics show that in their last 5 or 6 editions in the Champions League, after AC Milan, after they have been pegged back in the first leg, they failed to qualify. And that's a worry for me. But when I look at the quality that's afforded them, and the fact that, look, this time they need to get it right. They're playing at home. Okay, so you look at players like Leao, you look at the introduction of Joao Felix, you look at all those good players they have in the squad. I mean, is Mignon available? He is. So, I think he should prove the differential on the day. I think that if they do not concede against Feyenoord at home, they qualify. I think they can get a goal or 2 at home. But if they concede, it takes the game to probably extra time, or it makes the situation difficult for them. They need to come up clutch. They need to get an early goal in that first half, make it level on aggregate, go into that second half and grab the win. Because I just do believe that if they qualify, they are like whoever faces Milan in the round of 16. It's an exciting fixture. And we need a lot of tough teams in this new Champions League format to make it more exciting. So I'm just hoping that they can get it right, especially at home. And their fans will be going crazy in Italy. So yeah, I think Feyenoord, however, will be approaching this game knowing that they have it clear, they have the advantage, keep it tight at the back, try to pounce or hit Milan on the break, get that extra goal, and book a place in the next round of the competition.
Milan?
Under no circumstance have Milan performed their last 5 matches that have made me think, okay, this is a really good Milan side. For the fact that they won the Italian Super Cup, beating Juventus, beating Inter Milan, all coming from behind to win it. Yes, a good omen for Fabio Conceição. But against a depleted Feyenoord side, who obviously have a lot of their first 11 players injured, Quentin Timber, Zerouki, Hartmann, Trona, almost all of them lost Santiago Jimenez to the same Milan team. And then you travel all the way to Netherlands to give out this poor performance. I saw them play on Saturday against Hellas Verona, which they won by 1-0. Yeah. And it wasn't good at all. Performance was really poor. So, yes, they are playing at the San Siro against Feyenoord. But what do you have to do? You need to do things different, like you did in the first leg, away from Italy. Now they're coming to Italy. What can you do to get a qualification? From where I sit, and then from what I saw from Feyenoord, they weren't also interested against Brugge during the weekend. I watched the game, and then they lacked quality, and it's due to the absence of all of these players. So I think this is a game of ups and downs. You can't really go in for Feyenoord because I feel Milan can boast of the quality, but how can they utilize the absence of the final defenders. That is what I think is the hard nut for them to crack. The quality is there. Rafael Leao came off the bench in their previous game. Christian Pulisic came off the bench, and the coach actually rested them because of this game, because it is a crucial game for them to win. If you don't win, it means you're out of the competition. And the Milan fans would want to see the old Milan we saw winning the UEFA Champions League on 7 different occasions. But now they are not really a big team in Europe in terms of the biggest competition. So let's see if they can really get something out of this match. But it is going to be difficult. I thought Milan have the firepower, but consistency is the issue.
Yeah, just a little tip on the Milan game. I also just think that Milan will win because of the home factor. Because the statistic is that, look, in their last, be it in the last 12 matches, winning 7, drawing 5 at home. They've not lost at home at the San Siro since October in any competition. In the Serie A,
Looks
wherever.
good.
So I just believe that that's why I'm saying that they might win, but they must make sure they don't concede. Because if they concede, that game goes into... Because they won't score 3 at home. They might score 1 or 2 at home. And I know they will score goals. They might score 1 or 2, but they might concede. And if they concede, the game goes into extra time. It makes it difficult for them. They need to make sure that they get it right at the back on the day. And I think that Mignon has to come up big for them. He's going to be their savior on the day. If they do not concede, I think they can get it done in the full 90. They can get the 2 goals.
Then
I
I think if Ayase Ueda gets the chance to play, I think he gets a goal.
Yeah.
Okay, Atalanta and Gianpiero Gasperini have been a defender in the Italian Serie A, but not so much in the Champions League. A couple of seasons ago, they were really an interesting side in the Champions League. This season, they came up against Club Brugge, and the first leg in Belgium ended with Brugge winning 2-1 against Atalanta. Can the boys who were rested over the weekend turn up and party in style?
Yes, I think it is going to be a tough game. Atalanta during the weekend weren't able to score goalless in the Italian Serie A match. Club Brugge.
It really worry investors. So.
Some of the investors, I knew they weren't going to win. So under no circumstances I accept Atalanta to win. Club Brugge also due to I think against Intruding or whatever. And then it is going to be a tough game. Club Brugge know they need to defend against Atalanta. They need to go all out against Atalanta because they are the favourites to play, especially when they are playing at home. With all the firepower, with all the strikers, the potential players who can get the ball at the back of the net, Samasic and then Retego. I think Atalanta obviously are the favourites to win against Club Brugge. But we know Club Brugge, the last 3 or 4 matches in the Belgian league haven't really been good enough. But whenever they play in the Champions League, it's like they are giving their opponent a lot of headache.
Yeah, I think that Brugge will be a very tough game for Atalanta because Brugge have only lost 1 in their last 6 Champions League games, and that was against Man City. So I think that they've got enough quality to do it. I think they have the advantage, but just like for Milan, Atalanta will be having the home advantage. Will be playing in front of those fans in Italy where they're just going to be rushing towards there. You see the Italy stadiums, they have a way you rush to, and there's a lot of noise, a lot of firepower, and I just believe that I watched them play against Barcelona, I watched them play against Real Madrid in their group phase. I think that they're a decent squad, they're a decent side. I think they play good football. I think there was a little bit of controversy from Gasperini, like Gasperini was talking about a little bit of controversy in the first leg where he thinks like a penalty was given that was not supposed to stand. So I think that it's a narrow gap. It's 2-1, and so I think Atalanta will also score at home. I think it just comes down to the opposition. The home teams of the Italian home teams need to keep a clean sheet. That is the only way they qualify. If they concede, it makes it more complicated for them, and the game might go into a short time. But Atalanta to win this one.
Atlanta to win this one. Then there is an interesting French side who put 7 past Nantes over the weekend.
An interesting French club.
Yeah.
I know about many French clubs that really do well, that stand so strong, so firm, so aggressive.
I'm talking about Monaco.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so AS Monaco over the weekend put 7 past Nantes, who managed to score just 1 goal. But in the UEFA Champions League, they came short last midweek against their opponents, Benfica, losing 1-0 at home to Benfica. This time they travel to Benfica to take on the opponent. Can they get more goals against Benfica?
It's difficult. Because I saw Benfica play against Barca at home. I thought that they scored 4 in like 60 minutes of action. I think who grabbed that hat trick? That guy, what's his name again? Pavlidis. 30 minutes hat trick against Chesney. Look, I think that Benfica are a really good side. I think that they still got a good blend of experience and youth in their team. They've got Di Maria, they got Tamendi, they've got some really, really good names. Pairing up or teaming up with the youngsters who do a lot of running for them. I think their home ground is a very hostile. It's a difficult place to play at and win. But I also think that Monaco's got enough firepower in them. I think the game is going to be a cagey one. But I'll predict a straight draw. And I do think that Benfica having the advantage, moving to the second leg, playing at home, after one of the most controversial, let me not say controversial, but dramatic matches that have been afforded the Champions League, and 9-goal thrill against Barcelona, they can't afford to slip it at home again, and they will book a place into the next round at the expense of Monaco.
I think the reason why Monaco couldn't score against Benfica in the first leg encounter was because they were red carded. Al Musrati, that's first UEFA Champions League game for Monaco, he was sent off, and that is 10 against 11 against Benfica, and that is how they lost in that game. Benfica have been very good. They kept a clean sheet against Monaco. Yesterday they played against
Nantes.
Saturday they played against.
It was yesterday, Sunday.
He's not talking about Monaco, he's talking about Benfica.
Okay, Benfica.
Monaco played on Saturday.
Yeah.
Benfica also played on Saturday. So Monaco beat Nantes, and then Benfica played against Santa Clara. They won by a goal to 0. But you see, there are individuals who make the differences for clubs in competitions like this. You take a look at Benfica's injury list. There's Araujo, one of the important centre-backs, injured. Frederick Osnes, injured. Alexander Bar, injured. Bruma is inactive. Angel Di Maria is not going to play.
They've got Bruma, the young German.
Bruma is a Portuguese.
Okay, that's another one. Okay.
Jeffrey
Di Maria is
Bruma.
not going to play. Florentino is yellow carded, so he's not going to play. A very good midfielder. There is Govaya, who's not going to play, and Renato Sanchez is not going to play. So there's a crack in the team. Obviously, they have other quality players who can fill in. But these are players who've made the difference in certain matches for Benfica in the UEFA Champions League. Speaking of Monaco, I think aside Dennis Zakaria, who is also not going to play, and then Alexander Golovin, who has been an integral part of the team, I think they have other players who could make the difference. Mark Bereth scored a hat-trick against Nantes, and he would be yearning to get more against Benfica. It is not going to be an easy one for all of these teams. I think Monaco is going to score. Benfica have the attacking threat to also score against Monaco. So this is a game that we should expect a lot of goals, at least 2 or 3 goals for this encounter. So that for me, Benfica are not yet through to the next round of the competition. I think Monaco, when they have their day, can even eliminate Benfica.
Wow.
Monaco can have their day. Perhaps they'll have their day. Hopefully it's today, because the investors truly want this particular one. Now let's move ahead in the UEFA Champions League parent and look at another interesting game. Now this is the game between two really interesting sides, Bayern Munich versus Celtic. In the first leg, many didn't expect Celtic to get a goal, even though they were playing in Scotland. But traveling to Germany will be a different tie. Many are expecting goals in this particular one. Kwenda, are we seeing goals?
I think we should expect goals. In the first leg, I told you Celtic were going to score. Celtic is a very fluid attacking team. Regardless of who they play against, they have a very good attacking Kon. I made mention of Furuhashi, but he has left Celtic for Rene. And then Dyson Maida. Maida scored a goal against Bayern Munich in the first leg. And interestingly, when Celtic played during the weekend, they rested a lot of their players, a lot of their first 11 players. So Kon didn't play. Dyson Maida was also on the bench. A lot of their midfielders were also left on the bench. So this shows you that they still think they can get something out of the game, because I don't think Bayern have a very solid defense to keep Celtic out of the. Yes, they are playing at the Allianz Arena, but Celtic at any day, if they want to qualify at the expense of Bayern Munich, it means they should score a lot of goals, because Bayern are also going to score. But the question is, can Celtic score 3 or 4 goals against Bayern? It is going to be difficult. But can Bayern score 2 or 3 goals against Celtic? Yes, it is going to be easy. So we are going to see about 3 or 4 goals in this encounter. But obviously, I think Bayern have already taken the lead away from Germany. And as they play in front of their fans after drawing against Leverkusen during the weekend, I think Bayern will probably carry the D in this encounter.
So this has been our UCL
No,
preview.
but I'm just gonna add a little on Bayern. Come on.
Oh, Rebecca, next one.
I need to add a little on Bayern.
Okay, let's go.
So quick start on Bayern is that they're essentially in the Champions League. At home, they're unbeaten their last 20 games. Celtic are not winning. Do not stake Celtic anything, bro. Bayern and winning straight. Bayern straight win end.
Bayern straight win, and so this is a UCL Tuesday preview. This is a Gajo podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow the page.